Welcome to another video on the Java Basics tutorial. In this video, we will be discussing about how to create comments, and after that, we are gonna discuss about strings. More specifically, in strings, we're gonna discuss about there's a method called indexOf, which allows us to, which returns the position of either a letter or a word in a piece of text. We're also going to be covering the length method, which is just length method or function, which just returns the number of characters in a piece of string, in a word. We're also going to be covering a concept called concatenation, which is basically the addition of, which is basically the connection of strings to variables. It will be explained in more detail later on in the video. There's also methods called upper and lower case, which we will cover. And you guessed it, it basically covers the text from, it basically covers a piece of text from its original position to uppercase or lowercase respectively. So starting off with creating comments. So the basic procedure of creating comments is like this. We use two slashes, and after that we can put in anything we want. Like I'll put so what this comment is basically doing is that it guides the reader of the program on what this is, and it gives them an idea on what the programmer was trying to do here. This is very useful when it comes to multiple programmers designing a game, like different parts of it or any other app. Yeah, and this is the basic premise of creating comments. So next we're going to be moving on to strings, as I mentioned earlier. The first thing we're going to be doing in strings is doing the length method. So the length method is, so I'll just code how it looks like first. So as you can see, this is how the length method looks. So this should output 5, because if I put system.out.println, the output would be 5, because as I said earlier, this function outputs the number of characters in a specific word. So if I'll add the system.out.println in the next line. Now this is going to output 5. Yeah. So I'll give another example on this. So in this case, the word is welcome. And if we count the number of characters in welcome, the answer would be 7. So that means this should output 7. In this case, it would output 7. Yeah. And that's basically the end of this method. It is very useful it is mainly used in loops. and sometimes also in if or switch statements, which both of them we'll cover later. Now moving on to the next topic, which is concatenation. So concatenation is, I already mentioned, concatenation is basically the addition of strings with variables. So an example will be yeah. So in this case, concatenation can be done in two ways. There's a method called concat, which we will cover later in this class, and there's this plus sign. Both of them have the same function. So if we output this, it will output welcome Joe. Because a is a variable and I made a equal to welcome. So this is actually welcome. Yeah. I'll give a second example. Instead of putting a here, I'll put goodbye. Now notice how the value of a will change if I output it. It would become goodbye Joe. Yeah. Okay, now moving on to the concat method. It is just the same thing. I'm just providing another way to do the same thing. And another thing I forgot to mention is that we can combine two different variables if we want using concatenation. So I'll show an example of that now. So now this should output goodbye Joe again. Yeah. So I'll give a second example. If I change this to John and I change this to hello, the output would be hello John. Yeah. Now moving on to the next section, which is the upper and lowercase method. So the upper and lowercase method is, it just converts a piece of text to uppercase or capital letters or lowercase, which is also called small letters or just letters that are not capital. So I'll write a sentence right now. So this method is going to convert this text to uppercase. This is the method. I've highlighted it. Yeah. Now to convert it to lowercase, you guessed it. You guessed it. We need to convert this upper into lower. It's really simple. Yeah. As you can see, this method works because I put J as capital here, the first letter in the word, and over here it's now small. Now moving on to the last thing in the for today, it's called the index of method. As I said earlier, it just outputs the position of a word or character in a piece of text. So if I use the same sentence, if I use the same variable, and I try this I try this method. So I'll start with uh, I'll start with a character. So over here I will put F because F is only included once. So there will be no confusion. So F, as you can see, it is on the it is on the 8th position because this always starts at 0. The position always starts at 0 and blank spaces are included as positions. Blank spaces or spacebar positions. Oh, I forgot to put the string quotations. Now it should work. Yeah. Now now instead of choosing just one letter or character, why don't we can just choose a word. So over here I put fun instead of just F. This time it should be 2 as the output. No, I mean 4. It should be 4 as the output. Oh, I forgot to put double quotations this time. We have to put double quotations because this is a string. And single quotations are only applicable for characters. That's why the single quotation marks worked for the previous example and not this one. It only counts the characters. I think that was my mistake. It only counts the characters. Yeah, so that's the end of this video. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you.